What is going on, guys? I hope you're having a good one. Hope you had a good weekend. It is currently Monday, the 23rd of January, 2023. So the topic of today's video is selling cards in 2023 profitable, and is there real money to be made in the TCG industry? So let me go ahead and just answer that in two different ways. The first one is going to be the short answer. It's going to be yes. It is profitable, and you can make real money. There's real money to be made in the TCG industry. Now, let me go ahead and give you guys a background about me really quick, about how long I've been selling cards, and just kind of just a little bit of just how I started off. Just give you guys just a brief little background. So, I started selling cards right around August of 2022. I've been selling cards for the last 6 months. I started off on eBay, and just like everyone else, I really didn't know what I was doing at that time. And sure, there are YouTube videos out there. There are definitely good videos, decent videos that can get you started right away. But over time, guys, like this is a very complex industry and very complex business model. And so these things are really not taught. I'm not gonna say taught, but these things are not really mentioned on the internet. So you have to learn as you go and just kind of just, you know, really think and use a lot of reason uh, in your, day-to-day thinking when you're doing this, when you're operating this, a store of selling cards. So I didn't know what I was doing at first, guys. I just started getting back in the TCG. I just started getting back in the TCG. I was out of it for the last, I would say, 15 years. I used to, play a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh when I was growing up as a kid. I got a little bit of Pokemon a little bit as a kid. But right around 10, 12 years old, I kind of just drifted away. I grew away from the TCG industry. And then now I've just kind of just I've come back to it, and I realized that there's real money to be made in this industry. And there's just a lot of things that are good about the TCG industry. There's a lot of good things about it that I really believe that are very good for buyers and sellers and people that truly love doing just enjoying the TCG experience. Whether you're a buyer, you're a seller, you buy booster boxes, you buy packs, you open up packs with your kids open up packs, whatever the case may be. Like this is a very very uh, great industry, I would say, as far as the community, in my opinion. But I had to catch myself up to speed of just kind of just how what, like what's basic knowledge of cards. And that's pretty much what I did the first month, I'd say. I researched, I did a lot of stuff, and just kind of just understanding like how reprints work, how different sets. Um, Obviously, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon are completely different realms, right? They're not the same. So, selling on each one is a different approach on each one. So I had to do all research on all three, and after I say maybe like the first month, I got a real good handle of it. And now at this point, right now I'm coming up on 6 months of selling on the internet, selling on eBay, and I've definitely generated thousands of dollars, four figures in revenue. I'm a top rated seller on eBay. I've been a top rated seller the past 2 months now, and I'm just getting started. I feel like the first 6 months of this journey of me selling cards was kind of just understanding the market, understanding buyers and the psychology of buyers, and knowing the product, what to sell, what to hold, and do all those things. Right? There's so much to it, guys. It's crazy. It's like a college course of how to sell TCD, how to have a TCG business in general. Because there's obviously cards, sealed products, slabs, you name it. There's so much that goes into this stuff. It's really fun, and it's really challenging to challenge your mind and really try to understand how to run a successful operation. So let me go ahead and just kind of just come back to the question of, is it profitable? Can you make real money? And the answer is, of course, yes, but it's not easy. So, if this is something that you want to do, if you're thinking about doing, if this is something that you've already started, but you're kind of stuck, then definitely I'm gonna give you a few steps that I did in the beginning that I would do again, and hopefully you can take these steps and apply it to your business or you can just apply it in your mind in general if you are looking forward to starting an online store of selling cards. So, the first things first that I had to understand right away when I first started this was that this stuff's expensive. This stuff is very expensive, and it can get expensive the more you keep buying it, right? So the first thing you're going to need to understand, and the first thing you're going to need is cash. You're going to need cash. Now, I know there's gonna be like a lot of roadblocks for a lot of people that are gonna say, well, they don't have cash, they don't have extra money, they don't have enough money to start up a TCG store. You don't have enough money. And let me go ahead and just say that that's, in my opinion, that is an excuse. If you really want to do this, you're going to find a way to make up the cash. Now, I'm going to give you some options of what you can do to come up with cash to get started. You don't need much cash, but you need some cash. So let me go ahead and just give you some options that you could do that I did in the beginning. And I recommend this first step. I'm going to give you what I did to come up with the cash. So right away, guys, when I started my eBay, like when I launched my eBay store, I went through my house and I just started selling whatever I could, whatever I thought was valuable, and I just started selling stuff. And you really don't realize how much stuff in your house is very valuable that people would buy. Really, like I think the first like few, like I say, the first 10 items that I had, I generated well over like $100. I think $100, $150 just by selling items in my house before I even started selling cards. And I ended up finding cards in my garage and in a box. I ended up finding like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Dragon Ball Z cards, the old collectibles, not the new ones. And I just started selling those, and those were selling really well, and those appreciated very well over time because those cards were like 15 years old, and they were in mint condition. I kept my cards very minty, and I just kept them very, very in good condition. They were not lightly played or heavily played. They were in great condition. So I sold those right away, and I ended up generating a couple $100 right away, like the first month, right? And so once I did that, I had cash. I had cash in my hand. So that's what you need to do, right? That's the first option I would do. If you have binders, I would do binders. I wouldn't sell your bulk. Like let's say you have a bulk of commons and uncommons and stuff like that. Depending like what, let's say it's like Yu-Gi-Oh's now, like no one cares about rares anymore, right? Um, well, I'm not gonna say no one cares about rares, but I would just say rares are not as valuable as they were back in the old days. So, um, I would go through your binders. If you have binders of the stuff from back in the day, like 5, 7, 10 years ago, I really recommend you start going through your binder, start sorting your binder, and deciding which ones you want to sell. Because I know a lot of people are gonna be attached to their binders and stuff like that, and I understand, but at the same time, if you're really serious about this, you have to grow an unattachment away from collectibles and just your collections in general, and just start. If you're really serious about this, you're going to find a way. You're going to start selling the cards that are most valuable in your collection, or something, right? That's one option you can generate cash right away. Uh, and then another option is if you don't have enough cash, if you're breaking even every month, you're not making enough money, or not, I'm not saying making enough money, but you don't have enough money in reserves to invest in product, then pay off. If you have credit card debt, pay off debts, pay off your credit card debt, pay off if you have phone bill, a phone payment, pay off your phone, and just keep the service, obviously. Do you really need the new iPhone that comes out every year? I mean, I don't know if it comes out every year, but do you really need the new iPhone every year? Probably not. Your iPhone's probably good enough at this point right now. I would hold off on a new iPhone, pay off your car payments, pay it all off, right? That way you can free up some cash reserves every month and hold on to those cash reserves and just reserve it for buying product. So, the excuse that I don't have cash, it really is an excuse. You can find a way to generate cash. You can always get a part-time job. You can always free up a little bit of cash reserves by paying off a little bit of debt that you have in your monthly finances, and then just go through whatever you have in your house. It doesn't even have to be cards. You can just sell whatever, right? And obviously do research before you sell it, but you can sell pretty much anything on the internet and people will have an interest in it and they will buy it. So yeah, keep those in considerations. There are like few options that I would do if you don't have enough cash reserves in your monthly expenses. So the second thing I would do, guys, start an eBay store right away. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna say, well, why not start a TCG player? Blah, blah, blah. And by the way, I do have a TCG player. I do sell a TCG player. I am a level 3 at this point right now, working towards getting to level 4. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I think eBay is a lot easier starting out than it would be on TCG player. TCG player is a nightmare starting out. I would rather start on eBay, and I'll give you a reason why. But you want to make an eBay store. It takes like a minute or two to make it, to create a store, have a store name, and all that stuff. You just go on eBay, sign up, and sign up for a store, whatever. Now, the reason why you want to do eBay first is because when you list an item, right, you're gonna have to take photos of let's say we're selling cards. So you have to take photos of the card. You're gonna have to list you're gonna have to list basically the condition of the card. Is it near mint? Is it lightly played? Is it heavily played? Is it damaged? You gotta do all those things, right? This obviously, what set is that card coming from? Because at this point, every single card that we see right now has been reprinted some point down the line. Is it a reprint, first edition, yada yada yada? All those things you gotta fill in those details. Good photos, good lighting, good descriptions, the condition of the card, what set did it come from, stuff like that. That stuff matters. And when eBay sees this, right, when the algorithm recognizes that you're doing all the tasks to have a good listing, they're gonna rank you higher than the other, however many sellers are gonna be for that one listing. So they're gonna rank you a lot higher than, let's say, for TCG player. Let's talk about TCG player. Now, TCG player is the complete opposite. When you are starting out, when you have sold nothing on TCG player, they're going to put you in the back of, they're going to put you on the back burner, basically. And basically what TCG player does is that they put their best sellers up front on all cards, basically, on every single listing you can think of. And they're going to put their best sellers first, because those are the sellers that are going to be making them the most money. Those are the sellers that are going to be getting the good reputation and just fulfilling orders left and right and having good customer feedback. So it's a little harder to start off on TCG player, but on a different video, I will explain basically the things that I did for my TCG player to get to where I'm at right now. So I will start off with an eBay store because it's just a lot easier. The algorithm is a lot more forgiving. I don't think there's really even an algorithm on TCG player. They just rank you basically how long you've been on there, if you're a consistent seller, if you're a good seller, and your customer feedback. Whereas there's an algorithm with eBay, so eBay is a little bit more forgiving. The third thing I'm going to say is that buy some supplies. I would not overinvest on supplies. You definitely want to get, maybe, you probably should have envelopes. If you don't have envelopes, go buy some envelopes. You can get them at Walmart, Target, Office Max. Buy some envelopes. And you're going to need a lot of different things. You're going to need a lot of different supplies to do this. Obviously, you're going to need a printer to print out your labels. You're going to need ink, get your ink. And for the cards themselves, you're going to need a lot of different things. So like I said, you're going to need envelopes. You're going to need card sleeves, penny sleeves. You're going to need these little babies right here, these bad boys. You're going to need these are resealable, they're just resealable bags, but they're called team bags. You can go on Amazon, look them up, resealable bags for sports cards or something. And you can buy like, I don't know how much. You can buy like a 50 pack for like, I don't know, like $5 or something like that, or $6 or something like that. You're going to need top loaders. Okay. Get some top loaders. I recommend top loaders. You can get, this one, just one. You get one of these for like $5. You get 24. That comes with that. What else? I think that's pretty much it. The team bags, the card sleeve, and the top loaders, and the envelopes. So those 4 things, you're gonna need to buy those 4 things. Don't overinvest too much. You don't need that much. Don't buy too much. Just buy enough to where, let's say you have a handful of listings of cards on your eBay. Just buy one. Just like I said, you don't need to buy that much, right? Be very smart. Don't buy a whole bunch. You don't need a bunch because you're not selling a bunch of cards yet. Now, the 5th thing, let me go ahead and get right into this really quick of sourcing for products. So let me go ahead and get the number 1 question out the way. Should I go through a distributor? And the answer is no, you should not go through a distributor. Let me tell you why. First of all, you have no reputation at all, right? You don't have a reputation. You don't have a reputation, period, right? So how distributors work, you just can't go find a distributor and be like, hey, can I get, 5 boxes of Chilling Reign in Pokemon. They're gonna laugh at you, be like, okay, who are you? Like, like they're gonna see like who are you? How long you been selling? They're gonna just it's kind of like you're applying for a job. You're applying for a job, and sometimes they'll take you, sometimes they won't. Most of the time they won't actually. And you have to understand that right now, this is actual legitimate fact. There is a card shortage right now. There is a shortage right now in sealed product with these distributors, right? So, with that being said, they're going to only want to work with the people that are the most loyal clients, their most loyal clients, and the ones that have the most capital to spend have a big cash reserve of capital, right? So unless you have 100 grand laying around somewhere in your home, in your under your bed, or in your bank account, or in your crypto account, whatever the case may be, right? Uh, you're not gonna get through these distributors. Don't even waste your time. Another thing about distribution is that it takes a long time to get the product in your hand. It's not like Amazon where you order something off Amazon and you get it the next day. This stuff takes anywhere from a month to 6 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks, guys. It can take 3 months. That probably won't happen, but it can. That's just too risky in my opinion, and that's just too long. That's too much wasted time. You want to get a product as fast as you can in your hands as soon as possible. And I know, like with the whole thing of, well, why would I go buy a booster box for 125 bucks when I can go get distribution for 80 bucks? Let me tell you why that's really misleading. It's not 80 bucks, by the way. It's going to be $80 plus shipping plus fees from the distributor. You add all that up, it's going to be like a $10 difference, as opposed to maybe you buy a booster box for 125 bucks. You're going to be buying it for 115, right? And like I said, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to even get a hold of a distributor that actually wants to work with you. It's a card shortage. They don't care about your measly $100. They don't care. They don't really. They don't care, guys. This is a very, very cutthroat industry. You have to be able to have thick skin and just take it on the chin. So, yeah, do not go through distribution, especially right away. That is years down the road. Even for me, that's years down the road. I have no intentions of working with distribution anytime soon, especially that I'm not really selling any sealed product. I'm going to be selling mostly singles, right? So that being said, you're going to have to get very, very resourceful when it comes to finding product. You're going to need to find LGSs around your area. You're gonna have to find Walmarts, Targets, Best Buys. You're gonna have to find those type of stores, and you're gonna have to create a whole route list. You're gonna have to create routes for yourself, and you're gonna have to do this pretty much every other day of going to different Targets every day, going to different Walmarts every day, going to different LGSs every other day, and source for product and find product so that way you can get it in your hands and start selling cards right away. You have to create a route for yourself, and as an eBay seller and as a seller in general, sourcing can be very difficult and it can be very frustrating, and you're gonna have to be very patient. But if you're consistent with it every day, you're doing it every single day, there should be no problem where you should not be able to find. If you're putting all the work in, right? You're putting all the work in of trying to find product, there should be no reason why you couldn't get it. You'll be able to get product, right? Obviously, have knowledge about the products you want to buy, have some knowledge about the sets and stuff like that. So those are the things that I did right away in my eBay business. That's the things that I did right away to basically establish a baseline. Now, going forward in 2023, I have a baseline established these first 6 months of me selling, and I'll talk about TCG Player in a different video. But right now, my goals in 2023 are very astronomical, and I'll talk about those goals in a later video. But this stuff is very possible, guys. I've made pretty decent amount of money to know that this stuff, selling, cards, selling, having a TCG store is very profitable and can be profitable, and you can make real money, but you have to do it right. You got to do things right. You can't make too many costly mistakes, because if you make too many costly mistakes, you could lose a lot of money. So if this video helped you today, go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and yeah, comment in the comment section below of what videos you want to see. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your week, and stay tuned for more videos down the line. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good rest of your day.